one of the great things about ProPresenter is that there's so much third-party support. So Renewed Vision didn't write the companion module. Someone who's a user that's a programmer did. But they're perfectly okay with it being done, as evidenced by the fact that they haven't stopped them from doing it. So there are limitations, though, and this comes from the fact that all the commands are kind of figured out by watching the ProPresenter remote app over the network and seeing what it does. So I thought that we would take a look at exactly what you could do with Companion and go from there. So let's head over to my computer and take a look. So one thing you should know is if we were to go into Chrome here, you see that I've already got BitFocus Companion up. I've got the UI ready to go. This is actually the page that I use when I'm doing these tutorials. So, you know, I can cut between sources. I can toggle off and on. I'm going to hit this button right here, and that makes me go away. You know, things like that. So it's pretty powerful. But one thing that it can't do, if we go to a blank page here, is change looks. So if I say this is a regular button, okay, and let's say I go to look 2. I don't like how big that is, so I'm going to change it to 14 here. Okay, press on action. So I click down here, and I look for the instance. The connection is what they're now called in ProPresenter 7, or in the latest beta of Companion, which you need if you're using ProPresenter 7.4, 7.4.2 or newer, rather. So okay, so notice here I had a lot of things that I've added in here. So we have next slide, previous slide, specific slide. Keep that one in mind. We're going to come back to it here in a second. Clear all, clear slide, clear props, clear audio, clear background, clear telestrator, although we don't have telestrator in Pro7, but that's just left over. Clear to logo, clear announcements, clear messages. Notice we have different stage display layouts that we can go between. We can change stage display messages. We can do start clock, update clock, etc. Start an audio cue, and so on. But we really don't have the ability to do everything that we want to do, even if we select custom action, because custom action allows you to do some more advanced stuff. So I'm actually going to delete that here, and let's go back, scroll all the way to the bottom where I have this, and you probably won't have as many of these as I do, but I've got Pro 6, I've got another ProPresenter instance on another computer, my 13-inch MacBook Pro that my 14-year-old daughter has taken as her own, and also my ATEM Television Studio HD. So let's select specific slide. So the first thing you need to know is this presentation path. Now, what's important about that is that here in ProPresenter, so if we go back that, we could have any number of playlists and any number of presentations in playlists, and we could even have subfolders, all kinds of stuff. So the first thing you need to know is these are numbered starting with 0. So when I click on this one, that is playlist 0. This is playlist 1. Even though it's the second one, it's playlist 1. Same thing down here for the items in the playlist, the presentations. We've got presentation 0, presentation 1, presentation 2. So starts with 0, goes to 1. So let's do this, and I'm going to add a new item in my new presentation here, and let's call this looks control. Okay, and the theme doesn't really matter, the size. It's always valuable to choose your biggest size for that. In the library, I'm just going to put that in the default library. So now we go to new, and just to make this simple, I'm going to put that in my playlist. And where did it? Oh yeah, it came in way down here at the bottom. So make it a little bit easier. I'm going to put it up here at the top. It doesn't have to be at the top. I just don't want to count that many. That's the truth of it. So first thing I'm going to do is click on it, and I'm going to go over here and go and change it to the announcements layer. The reason that I'm doing that is because the announcements layer is independent, and with the Mac version at least. I think with the Windows version it will change the UI, but with the Mac version it wouldn't. So I've got that slide there, and let me add another to it. Command Shift in adds another. So right now I'm going to add, right click, add action, and you may see where I'm going with this. So I'm going to add an audience look. Let's call this normal, and I'm going to right click, add action, audience look, and the default one. So the first one and the second look. Okay, so if I were to, in the course of service, just click on those two, then they would change between the two looks. So what I want to do instead is, keeping in mind that this is playlist 0 and this is presentation 0, I'm going to go back to companion, and I'm going to go 0, 0, and slide number 1. No delay, don't need a delay. So actually I said that was look 2 initially. Let's call that look 1. I'll do the same thing here. It's a regular button, look 2, and I could call these whatever I wanted to. I'm just doing this for simplicity's sake. And now, so that's good. That's good. Now I need to add the action here, scrolling all the way down till I see ProPresenter 16, going to specific slide. Remember, now we're going to do slide number 2 in playlist 0, presentation 0. Okay, so now that's already updated here in my Streamdeck. That's right there. So I should be able to go to page 8, yes, and I should be able to change between those. So let's make sure that I did all that correctly. So if I did, we should see over here, it should change between these two. So I'm on 1, and now I'm on 2. And notice that when I click on those buttons, it changes how this looks here. But what's also really cool is, let's say that I'm down here in Amazing Grace and I realize, uh-oh, I have made a mistake, I'm on the wrong look. I can change it here and notice that it changes. So if I had forgotten to add this, then I've got a page over here that I can go to it at any time and just change those without affecting what I'm doing in ProPresenter itself. So that is how you can use Companion and a Streamdeck to change looks, or basically anything that you could put as an action on the on a slide in ProPresenter 7.